As we go through life, one of the big questions about things we purchase is what the value of it is.
My favorite show, right? Well, my favorite DC show besides Flash is Black Lightning. Black Lightning to me is a prime example of how comic book related shows without much back history should be. The reason why I say it don't have much back history because it came out when Black Lightning came out, it came out in a comic, a limited comic with the Outsiders. He had a couple of showings on Justice League in the comic books, but mostly in the Outsiders and Black Lightning, the actual comic book. And a notable thing about this show is it doesn't take long to get into whatever it is. It doesn't take long to get into the plot. Like the first season, it starts off with a little bit of his origin. The accuracy of the comic book versus the show, of course, is never going to be 100% accurate. With all the characters that are involved with a lot of these people origins, they don't have either access to these characters or they don't know how to tie them in without ruining maybe a further contract, whatever behind the scenes stuff. But it starts off in the first season with Tobias killing his dad, and so the revenge. So Gambi, which is like was his caretaker, and it was the person that trained him in combat training and how to control his abilities. Black Lightning. So he took him in. Gambi took him in, and he wanted to train to be Black Lightning when it first all started. He wanted to do it to get revenge on Tobias for him killing his dad. He stuffed newspapers down his throat basically until he died. So, speeding up to season 3, they were dealing with this character named Gravedigger. Yeah, I'm taking you on this trip, but work with me. So they was dealing with this character Gravedigger, which was a turned out to be a old family member from way back then who was the first so-called meta, and he had the ability. At first it was just an aging thing and healing factor, a little bit of strength, but then time went on and started experimenting more with his body. The ASA is this organization that is involved with meta genes, meta research. They even had a showdown with the Russians, Markovians, in season 3, in the last season. So his family got powers. His wife is a scientist. He was supposed to be getting a divorce. Now he's not. They're trying to work things out. They've been into a bunch of wars. It's been a whole crisis. Whole bunch of things happened to the point where in the third season they dropped the package off that had the Markovian and all the metagene secrets and the green light and everything. It had entire plans of taking over the city, all of these things, how to weaponize the metagenes, and they put it in a package and put it in Gotham. They gave it to someone in Gotham, but they never really said who it was. But anyway, so the ASA is an organization. You have the street police. One of the police was Black Lightning's best friend, Bill Henderson. He died on the last season. So it picks up right after that. Um, I'll probably later on do reviews on the other seasons, so this review can make more sense. But anyway, they started off saying things like people. It was a quote by his dad, I think, to Black Lightning that he was remembering. He was like, "People die who ain't never died before." I love the show writing, man. The show's writing is incredible. The poetry, the powerful messages, everything in there. But anyway, so episode 1 starts off with him talking. He was at his friend's grave, Bill Henderson, and he was mourning him and grieving. And he has a run in with police trying to attack this kid overly aggressive, and so he stops him. He uses his abilities outside of his suit. Now it picks up on him not using his suit, as we know from the first season, and maybe if you read in the comics, he has a problem controlling his not controlling his abilities, but the energy output and intake that he has without his suit can be deadly. So that's why Gambi designed the suit. So he's using this. He's trying to find his identity again because everything that he's done leading up to this moment was supposed to be for Tobias. Then it was supposed to be for Freeland. It was supposed to be for his family. And he's like kind of losing. It's a hero's path when they start losing focus or they start losing sight on who they are as a human being because their superhero life has been taken over them so long that that's all they know now. So every show, every character, they're always going to have a crisis. This is his season for that. I hate the fact that this may be the last season because to me this show had the best action. If I'm judging it based off of criteria, I got a couple of things that I had actually noted when it comes to TV shows about superheroes and fiction or just anything inspired into something that we all know and love. Comic book based shows. My criteria is character development, writing, plot development, direction, villain, because the hero is only as good as their best villain. Action, accuracy to comic, actor selection is like last on my list because it don't really matter whether you're a big star or a small star or just starving artist or whatever. It don't matter what level of actor you are, actress you are. It's the roles that you're portraying. If you anybody could get these roles to come alive, but it takes a little dedication and integrity to the role. You have to be a fan of these things. So that I don't really look at. Plus, I knew China. I knew her from Ant Farm. I know her from Tyler Perry shows, movies. So she's familiar. Now, everyone else, Nafisa also, she played in the Meek Mill movie. I think that was her introduction. It was a Meek Mill movie called Streets. Probably know her from there if you know who Nafisa is, Nafisa Williams. So now I think the actor name is Cress Williams, I believe. Black Lightning himself. I haven't really seen. I think I've seen him in something else, but anyway, the actor selection I don't really care about, but the actors that they have selected is all perfect. For one, this is the first live action Black Lightning show, so really going to it's not really supposed to be the most impressive. And like this is the original cast right here, but they actually are impressive. They all can act. They all have their cues and everything. Accuracy to the comic book, like I said earlier, no show really gives that. But see, episode 1 and 2, they both are still dealing. Both episodes showcase that they're dealing with things from their previous seasons. Whether you have, like I was saying earlier, character development. You got um you got Lynn. She always wants to prove herself. So in her science, she's doing these experiments now. She's taking needle shots. She was doing it in the last seasons, trying to perfect abilities, trying to perfect being able to use abilities so she could be utilized more in the field. Don't know if this is fear related. Don't know if this is just a medical breakthrough she wants, or if this is just trying to prove herself. That's her conflict. You got Jeff Black Lightning himself, split reasoning for using his powers. Like I was saying earlier, it was bringing back to my point of characters, main characters, heroes, villains. They always have a point in time where they questioning themselves. The abilities they have leads them into these pathways. So I'm not afraid to tackle those things because a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't like when the heroes do this. They're so confused." It has to have development. This is how a character develops. It's pointless to just have them as superheroes 24/7. That's unrealistic. They're still born on Earth. They have earthly matters to attend. Next thing is, yeah. So he's trying to figure out right now because he went into a few missions where he stopped he got the names of people, or he stopped the deal from going down, and he's still messing with Tattoo Man, or yeah, with Tattoo Man. So, and Tattoo Man is under Lady Eve. Lady Eve is a villain. We'll get to that in a second, but his dealings with Tattoo Man being one of his students, and also being somebody that lives in his community, somebody that he knew and grew up with, or Tattoo Man grew up and he basically helped push him through school or whatever. We've seen that in the first season, but as time went on, he got deeper and deeper with the 100. He got deeper and deeper with controlling Freeland, and now they got this other character, Miss Destiny or Destiny. So she's in the street things with Tattoo Man, but I'm not quite sure too much on what she's doing. I'll probably have more research on her on the next review. But anyway, so this is what I like. Oh, back to the character development. You got Jen or Lightning. She's in conflict with her adolescence. And as time goes on, she gets more powerful. She's one of those characters. And since the first season, her powers have grown and grown. Sometimes she's grown to the point where she turned into all energy. When Crisis happened, she went into like an in between dimension. Because of her ability, she's able to almost reach, I think, the astral forms and everything. She can heal herself now. She's doing a lot more of that. She had training, I think, in the last season, in season 2 and season 3, where she was training with this lady that was pulling her into this world or this dimension, like a pocket dimension, and she was able to help her train with those abilities there. Characters with pocket dimensions is very important for people like Jen. And then you got Thunder. She's still dealing with Grace, and she's also dealing with being Blackbird. She's the only character playing two different superheroes, I think, on any show. Yeah, she's playing two different superheroes in one show, and people don't even really talk about that. This is the most underrated DC show they have, man. They gave Batwoman two chances, and they trying to kill Black Lightning. The action is incredible. The thing I like about this show is real world things happening. It's not, they don't act like the real world don't exist. They don't act like um they don't ignore the real world. They have weapons being developed because of superheroes. ASA helped with that research, and then when they left and the Markovians tried to put everybody under, and it, they were paying attention. It's like, hold on, we got characters like Black Lightning, Thunderbird, Lightning. I mean Blackbird, not Thunderbird, Blackbird. We got Tattoo Man out here. We had the Sanjay, all of this. So yeah, they've been preparing and weaponizing against metas. And I think every season they get more advanced with how to tackle them, to the point where you got street games and you got games like the 100 and the game that Destiny runs. Blackbird had to stop them from even. I think they was trying to sell some weapons to each other because he wanted Tattoo Man wanted to get the weapons off of a truck when the shipment was coming in, and it got stopped. And then they wanted to kill Lightning. It didn't really work. She healed the next day, and she kept going into the ionosphere where ions are present and present heavily, and she absorbs, I guess, the ions, and it helps with her electrical and other energy abilities in order to heal or get more powerful. But it takes a toll on her when she does that. So now they're trying to get her to stop doing that. It's a lot of things going on, man. You got the tech dude, he's back again. I forgot his name, but Gambi uses him. I want to see what they do with Lady Eve. Still waiting on Painkiller to return. Hopefully he returns sometime soon, because he was one of the best villains. He was supposed to be getting a spinoff show. I'm like, I don't want no spinoff show with Painkiller. I want, like, if anything, Lightning, Thunder and Lightning or something. I don't know what they doing with this painkiller thing, but they keep trying to DC keep trying to take street level characters and make a big spectacle about them. They are so scared to tackle their universal characters, the big super powered metas. Like Superman got his little movie, but make that into a show. Just like that movie, make it into a show. But anyway, Black Lightning's acting is realistic. They actually cause damage to the city. It actually makes the mayor, makes the governors, it makes everybody pay attention to Freeland. It's not just some a big explosion happened and nobody talks about it. Another thing is the villains. Like I was saying, the villain is your greatest villain is how great your hero story is going to be, or your hero is only as good as his best villain. So that being said, Tobias, Lady Eve, Painkiller, Tattoo Man, they had the ASA, they had Gravedigger, they had Cyanide, they had that other Asian lady, I forgot what her name was. But they had a lot of people, and everybody everybody has, well, for the most part, you got Tobias, Painkiller, and Lady Eve and Tattoo Man are the most recurring villains. I like recurring villains. I hate the villain of the week formula. Why? Because a lot of villains have a lot more depths in them. You can expand a lot more on them instead of just having them feature on an episode one day for 2.5 minutes, and then they like help you because of a speech. Like no. And I like the fact that they're trying to kill each other. I like that these villains are trying to get rid of these heroes. They're not trying to just like change their life because he spoke to them all crazy. I like the fact that they're a problem. They're something to actually have to deal with. And Tobias is an incredible. The guy that Cromdon or Cromden or however you say his rap name, he is an amazing villain. I put his acting style and his villainy up there with Daredevil. A lot of people will probably disagree with that, but just watch Tobias. Tobias Wales on that show is incredible. Tattoo Man, incredible. Lady Eve, Jill Scott playing Lady Eve, incredible. I don't know how this show is so underrated. But anyway, I'm gonna bring this to a close. The first two episodes were amazing. Once again, I'm ready to see what they do with Painkiller. I want to see more with Jefferson. Jefferson got a crazy boost. He erased people's memories with electricity. What was another thing he did? He did something with electricity. Uh, I don't know, but he always get a boost. I like that. I like his electric vision and all of that he be having. But anyway.